you. Okay, well, thank you everybody for coming. I'm Paul Addis. I'm the reference librarian at the Coos Bay Library, and I have here with me Jamar Ruff, the outreach coordinator from Coos Head Food Co-op. And I was really excited a few months ago when he agreed to my idea to have him cook virtually on Zoom for the community. We just thought it'd be a great way for the community to bond over food. And Jamar and I are all about building community. Hold on, I have a question. If you're on a phone, you can pin Jamar by double tapping his pic. Yes, and you can also pin Jamar via his 3 dots in his little thumbnail, the 3-dot menu. Thank you, Katrina. I just wanted to mention too that the Coos Bay Library also has a free recipe database called A to Z Food. If you go to coosbaylibrary.org and click online resources on our homepage, A to Z Food will be right at the top. Lots of free recipes from all over the world. Very cool database. Jamar, did you have anything you want to mention coming up?
So stay tuned for Coos Watershed's May Fly Festival. If you want more information, please visit their webpage or their Facebook account, and also our Facebook page as well. And just stay tuned for more cooking videos as well. Thank you all for joining in tonight.
And you can get more info on the co-op at coosheadfood.coo. And you can check out their calendar of events too, because they've been open through this all, and it's one of the more safer places to shop right now. You ready, Jamar?
All right, I'm ready.
It's all yours.
Okay.
Oh, one thing I was going to add, if you add questions to the chat for those that just came in, I'll feed them to Jamar throughout, or you can respectfully unmute and ask him questions throughout. Go for it.
All right. So we are cooking today jackfruit barbecue sliders. So the first thing that we're going to start is, in the recipe, it calls for red cabbage, carrot, onion, and a jalapeno. That is going to be where we're pickling our vegetables. And I would like to knock this out first, so that way, by the time our pulled pork, not pulled pork, but our pulled jackfruit is ready, we can eat at one time, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is start slicing our red cabbage. And I have some pre-cut. I don't know if you're able to see that, but I cut them in like shoestring size. Same thing with my carrot, same thing with my onions. Cutting them in, but with the jalapenos, instead of making them a long slice, I cut them up really small, so that way you get it, you get the flavor of the jalapenos incorporated into each bite.
Some of those you might have to hold a little closer, Jamar, so we can see them.
Okay.
Ah, thank you.
You see that?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to start chopping, and take your time. When using a big knife, make sure you are watching your fingers.
Please.
There's no rush. Whoa, okay. How we're doing, so I'm going to start with the carrots as well.
Moving on to carrots.
Yes, and also I have a compost bowl right here, especially because I like to make soup with all of my veggie scraps. So that is a good way to incorporate and keep using your vegetables. You don't necessarily have to throw them away. Just keep it going. You can make veggie stock, really, really good veggie stock. Okay. So, because the carrots tend to roll around, please be careful when you're chopping. And remember to take your time.
Yeah, keep those fingers.
Keep those fingers. So this is how I have. Ooh.
One more time? Oh, okay.
So that's how small I'm making the carrots. I'm slicing them, and if you already have them pre-sliced, then you can do that as well. Don't be intimidated by the carrot.
Jamar, how many carrots are we chopping?
So
How many,
I
Jamar?
use 3 carrots. Thank you, Caitlin. I use 3 carrots, and out of 3 carrots, you can really get a huge amount of topping.
So he's using about 3 carrots.
Mm-hmm. And always remember, when I'm cooking and incorporating recipes, I like to cook with vibrant colors, because if I'm cooking for guests, I want them to eat with their eyes before they even sit down and actually take a bite, you know? So, and right now, everyone is capturing photos of what they're cooking and make it look good. So
We had some amazing photos last month.
Uh-huh. So the purple and the red cabbage, and then the orange, and then the green and the red onions.
It's like a rainbow.
So I'm gonna move over to cutting my onions. And I'm moving, but please take your time when you're cutting. I have onions.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
And like I said, if you have questions, go ahead and turn your mic on like Caitlin did, or type something in the chat box and I'll ask Jamar.
And for my onions, I am using a half an onion. So use a half an onion. The recipe calls for 1 onion. Half goes in the pickled vegetables, and the other half goes in the jackfruit.
Oh, okay.
We're building our base.
Half and half.
Any questions?
Can you show us again the size of the cabbage?
Of course.
Let's see the cabbage one more time. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hey, Jamar, have you done the jalapeno yet?
I don't think so. Jalapeno, we haven't got to it yet, right?
Yes, we have not got to the jalapeno.
Okay.
Coming up.
You're moving fast. So with the jalapeno, we are not keeping the seeds. So we're gonna discard those seeds.
So take
And
the
remember,
seeds out of the jalapeno.
The jalapeno is optional. Spice is not for everyone, you know, so it is definitely optional. And instead of cutting them really long, we're gonna make sure that we're dicing them small.
You're dicing the jalapeno small?
Yes.
Okay.
That way they get incorporated into the pickled vegetables. So far, we have purple cabbage, red onions, orange carrots, and then green jalapenos.
Susan Hopkins asked, I assume canned will work.
Excuse me?
Susan asked if canned will work.
If canned?
Which one, Sue?
If cantaloupe?
No, she's asking if canned would work, like in the can.
Oh, of course.
Canned peppers, yeah.
Of
Canned
course.
peppers. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Hey, you're
Definitely.
already making it your own.
All right, he's showing us something, I think.
So far, this is how my vegetables look. I have my carrots, my red cabbage, my red onions, and my jalapenos in the middle.
That's kind of pretty.
Kind of. So, then I'm gonna mix them all up.
Mix up all those cut veggies.
Yes. And so as far as the seasonings, because if you look at the recipe, it calls for coconut sugar, and black pepper. So I did on the black pepper, I did a half tablespoon, a half teaspoon, not a tablespoon, half teaspoon, and I did a half tablespoon for the coconut sugar. And so I am putting the coconut sugar and the black pepper into my pickled vegetables.
So Jamar, that was a half teaspoon pepper and a half
Yes.
tablespoon of the coconut sugar?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do now is, if you look at the recipe, it calls for rice vinegar. I put rice wine vinegar, it's rice vinegar. But if you look at the table right here, I have different vinegars that you can use. It does not necessarily have to be the one that the recipe calls for. Yet again, you're making the recipe your own. So I use a fourth of a cup, and I'm gonna pour that over the vegetables.
That's a fourth cup of the vinegar.
Mmm.
Is it smelling good?
It does. It does.
I'm jealous.
Hey. Y'all are always welcome to come to the test kitchen, okay?
Might have to.
Okay, so I'm discarding any scraps that I may have, so that way I'm keeping my workspace clean. And I'm putting my pickled vegetables off to the side, okay?
So set those veggies aside.
Yes. So now we are gonna move into, am I moving too fast for everyone?
Is the pace good for everybody? I think you're good.
Okay. So
Lots of thumbs up.
And I did a little prep beforehand, so if I need to slow down and you're trying to catch up, I don't want y'all to feel like y'all rushing through it. Take your time and get comfortable with the recipe, okay?
Plus, it's easier to hear on Zoom if you go slow.
Okay. So the recipe called for 2 cans of jackfruit. What I found when I first cooked with jackfruit is that when you're using canned, it can be really salty. So I did a rinse of the jackfruit once I strained the juice out from the can, and this is young jackfruit. So, fun fact: did you know that jackfruit is the largest tree-borne fruit? Also, jackfruit can grow to be a whopping 100 pounds. Like, that is huge, you know? And a fun fact as well. So we're using the baby jackfruit. When jackfruit is ripe, it becomes really sweet. So when it's baby jackfruit, it becomes a flavor absorbent.
So Jamar, Sue had asked, what is jackfruit? You've kind of explained it's a tropical fruit, I'm assuming, right?
It's a tropical fruit. Jackfruit is the biggest tree-borne fruit, and the one that we're using is actually baby jackfruit. So when jackfruit is ripe, it becomes sweet. It just like the name, it becomes a sweet jackfruit. But the baby jackfruit in which we cook with different meals, that is when we're using the baby jackfruit before it's even sweetened. So the ones that we're using and also, say for instance, every half cup of jackfruit contains 40 calories, 0 sugar, 0 fat, 2 grams, and 2 grams of protein. So for every half cup of jackfruit, it contains, and I'm going to repeat it, it says 40 calories, 0 sugar, 0 fat, and 2 grams of protein.
And if you're ever in the tropical fruit section at Safeway, they sometimes have jackfruit. It'd be like 2 or 3 of my head, this huge, like oval looking fruit, and it has like spikes all over it.
Which can definitely be a little intimidating when you're seeing that. And for me, I'm typically cooking and it's like 5:30 and I'm like, okay, I want it to be good, but I want it to be different. And I'm a huge fan of pulled pork. So when I find different innovative ways to actually cook the stuff that I love and stepping outside of the box and using jackfruit, I was like, oh my God, like everyone has to try this.
Nice.
Okay, so when we so after you drain the canned jackfruit, where's everybody at in the recipe?
Has everybody drained their jackfruit? I think we're good.
Okay, so I have mine in a bowl, and I press my jackfruit so that way it becomes a little shreddy. But I didn't shred all of it because I wanted to still have texture. So if I still have, and I'm gonna bring it closer.
Cool.
So this is what I have so far. But the jackfruit that I do have, I've shredded it, pulled it apart.
Kind of looks like shredded chicken.
Mm-hmm. But I left it, I didn't break it all the way down.
Could you see it, Katrina? Oh, okay. Got thumbs up. All right.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to start heating my pan up. I'm going to coat the bottom of the pan with olive oil.
Just a little bit, or?
I will coat the whole bottom of the pan. You make
Cool.
sure that
That's the pot, though, not the pan, right?
oh yeah. Yes, it is the pot. So I made sure that it was enough to coat the whole bottom of the pan, because now I am going to start incorporating my seasoning. So now with the seasoning that I'm using for the pulled pork, as my base, I'm going to use red onions. So remember, we saved half of our onions for one for the pickled vegetables, and now the other one is for the jackfruit. Okay.
So do you have that pot on right now?
Yes, I do.
Like low or high or medium?
I have it on medium. Just enough so I can start hearing some sizzling when I'm starting to add my seasonings and my onions to it.
Cool.
And so the seasonings that we're going to use today for the jackfruit are going to be onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, cumin, salt, and pepper. Now, when I'm using salt in a dish, I always start with the least amount of salt and start building it, because typically when you're cooking for others, they're going to already add salt to their food. So I like to just especially when I'm unfamiliar with the dish, I just don't trust that salt content, So I start small, and then I'm tasting my food and building my base up. Okay, so with the salt, I'm going to do a 4 teaspoon. And then the pepper, I have a half a teaspoon. Garlic powder, onion powder, I'm doing a half a teaspoon. And then smoked paprika, I'm doing 1 teaspoon.
What was the last one?
Yeah.
What was the last ingredient?
The last ingredient was garlic powder. So I'm using salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, and cumin.
Jamie, do you have a question? You can unmute.
Can you repeat how much of all the different spices, please? I missed that.
Of course. So we're going to go one spice at a time, okay? So
Okay.
the first one is going to be the salt. I did a 4th teaspoon.
4th teaspoon of salt.
Yes, 4th teaspoon of salt. Has everybody added that?
I think we're good.
Okay. So now the next one is going to be the black pepper. So I did a half teaspoon.
And then a half teaspoon of black pepper.
Yes. Now the next one I'm going to move to is the onion powder. So I did a half teaspoon as well.
So a half teaspoon of onion powder.
Now, moving to the garlic powder. The garlic powder, I am doing a half as well.
So a half teaspoon of garlic powder as well.
And then with the cumin, I'm doing a 1/4 teaspoon.
So it's a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin.
Yes. And then when I start adding that to my pot, I'm gonna make sure I'm stirring it.
Make sure to stir.
Now I'm creating my base. Okay.
Jamar, was there paprika in there somewhere?
Yes, smoked paprika.
How much of that one was there?
I did a half.
Half teaspoon?
Yes.
Half teaspoon of paprika. Jamie asked, smoked paprika?
Yes.
Yes, good question.
And Jamar, I have a question. This is Jen. If we were using fresh onion and fresh garlic, what would the ratios be? What would you recommend?
If
Good
you're using
question.
fresh onion, I would do, oh. If I'm doing onion powder instead of onion, are you saying instead of the onion powders?
Yes, instead of the
Okay.
powder.
So I wouldn't do 1-to-1 because sometimes when you're using fresh I would do half and half. I would do half and half. I thought you said ginger. My apologies. I'm like, wait, ginger. But yeah, I would keep the ratio the same. 1-to-1, half and half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for a 1/4 teaspoon of dried, what would that be for fresh? What would you think?
Ooh. That is like a trick question. Let's go for like, okay, so if I'm gonna use half, I would just bump it up instead of like a 1/4, I would just do a half, just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
Bump it
Start
up
with
to a
that
half.
and then see how it goes and bump it up if needed. Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
So what's going on in your pot right now? Because I got distracted on the spice.
Oh, okay. So right now I only have olive oil, onions, and seasonings in my pot, and I'm allowing my onions to cook down and caramelize with the seasoning. And I have my heat on medium, so that way I'm making sure that I'm not burning anything because we are turning multitasking. So just keep it stirring. How's everybody feeling at this point?
Has everybody got their pots in the same place? Awesome.
And also, how is it smelling?
How are things smelling? I see steam from Stacy's kitchen.
Hey, that's good. As long as we don't see fire. That
Yeah,
is
I haven't seen any smoke yet.
Okay, okay.
Haven't heard a fire alarm.
As you're seeing, the onions are just like really being incorporated into the seasoning, the olive oil. And that is where, like, whenever I'm doing a recipe, I always want to start with building my base. And you see the pickled vegetables are just hanging out. That's why you want to go ahead and check them off your list in the very beginning. Whenever I smell like smoked paprika and all of these seasonings, it automatically makes me think of barbecue. You know, it automatically makes me think of barbecue. Okay. So now my onions are golden. I'm gonna
Jamar's-
add the jackfruit.
Jamar said his onions are golden and he's adding the jackfruit.
Yes, I am. I'm going for it.
Sweet.
Now we can turn our pan up a little bit.
So he's turning the temp up a little.
Mhm. And I also have a lid.
Does everybody have a lid for their pot?
Let's go great, Jamar. Hey, thank you. We have our studio audience here.
Nice. Wish I could smell it.
Any questions so far?
Anybody have a question at this point?
So we keep the heat up and the lid on? Is that
Yeah.
what?
Yes,
Well, we're gonna check
question. What was
Hey,
that, Jamar? Go ahead, Jamie.
Ours doesn't look like there's enough liquid in it, and I'm pretty sure if I put the lid on it, it's gonna burn on the bottom. Ideas?
Okay, add a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
Olive oil.
I have my measuring cup. Add a quart.
Yeah, he's adding some too.
Mhm.
So add a little olive oil if it doesn't seem like you have enough liquid.
Yeah. And keep stirring.
Keep stirring.
Yeah. Okay. So the next step is the barbecue sauce. I am going to. Typically, whenever I'm using barbecue sauce out of the bottle, I don't use the whole thing because I don't want the consistency to end up being watery. So what I do is I add a little bit at first, and then I keep adding one out because I like it to be a little sticky as well.
So how much should we add at the beginning?
Hmm?
How much should we add at first?
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add. Start with a half a cup.
Start with a half a cup of barbecue sauce. So Jamar, Susan said, I missed if there was prep of the jackfruit or use it as it comes out of the can drained.
So you drain it and then you press.
She said it looks like it's chopped or mashed. She just needs to strain it, right?
Yes, yes.
Just strain the juice out, Sue.
So
Okay, you're welcome.
now I have the right consistency. I think I wouldn't add any more. I'm gonna add my lid on and then I'm gonna reduce the heat as well. So I'm gonna at least move it to medium, just so that way the flavors can go ahead and start combining into it.
So you put the lid on and turn it down a little?
Yes.
Cool. So awesome to see everybody at work.
So what I wanted to do now is talk about buns. I have a plethora of buns. I have breadstock honeybee burger buns. You can use those, but we also have gluten-free ciabatta buns, which is really awesome as well. And then if you want to take it,
What was the second one?
Excuse me.
What was the second?
So the second one was ciabatta buns.
Oh.
They're gluten-free here at Cbpl. And then I also have honey wheat burger buns. And then I also have Farmstead country loaf.
Yum.
So the whole thing is making it your own. And say for instance, if I'm gluten free, I want to stick away from all the other bread, and I want to go to something that I personally like, and I like the ciabatta roll because it's super simple and it toasts up really good. Now, let's make sure we're checking on our barbecue. We're calling it barbecue because it is.
Check on your barbecue jackfruit.
Yes. Okay. Gonna add the lid back on. Put the lid back on. Now I'm gonna get my pan so that way I can start toasting my buns.
So he's getting his pan ready to toast the buns.
Yes. And so I am gonna use the ciabatta bun.
Do they need to prep the pan anyway, Jamar?
Excuse me?
Do they need to prep their pan?
Yes, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have it on low, not between low and medium, and then I'm gonna add a drizzle of olive oil in there just so that way I'm not putting it in a dry pan.
So put your pan on low and add a drizzle of olive oil. How do we know when the pan's ready for the buns?
Okay.
Jamar, how do we know when the pan's ready for the buns?
When the pan gets a little hot.
Okay.
Make sure we're checking our jackfruit.
Check that jackfruit. All right, bye, Connie. And this will be on YouTube.
Hi, Connie.
Thanks.
So my pan is getting hot. I'm going to go ahead and put my buns in there.
Go ahead and put your buns in your hot pan.
I don't know, Paul, you're making me laugh, okay?
Good.
How's everyone doing?
Everybody doing good?
Everyone doing good?
Lots of double thumbs up, so I think we're good.
Okay.
Thanks, Francis.
And remember to check your jackfruit.
Sounds like you need to check that jackfruit regularly.
Yeah. Keep an eye on it. The red onions in the jackfruit looks really, really awesome. And it smells even better.
I bet.
Here I am, baby.
Can almost hear it.
And so if you have tongs, get them ready.
If you have what?
Some tongs, just so we can go ahead and make sure we're getting all of our stuff ready to start.
Oh, tongs. Okay.
Yeah. Let's check on our buns.
Check your buns.
And you can turn the pan up.
Everybody should turn their pans up a little.
For your bun.
You just toasting them?
Yeah, we're just toasting the bun.
Cool.
Oh.
I think I hear Al Green.
Huh?
I think I hear Al Green.
You actually do hear out. And here I am, baby.
There you are, baby.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, Jamar, I saw Al Green live.
You did?
Yes,
said
I
that?
did in Oakland.
Jealous.
Cindy.
Who saw Al Green?
I did. Cindy stepping in Oakland. I
Oh.
saw him.
Nice. Little jealous of that.
I definitely. So on our buns, we're not just gonna toast one side, we're gonna flip them over. So when your bun hits golden, well, you can't see mine, but
Let's see your buns, Jamar. Thanks for sharing those buns.
okay. So we're gonna make sure we're flipping them over.
Oh, you toast them both sides?
Yes, and now we're gonna toast on both sides. Now we're gonna make sure we reduce our heat on our jackfruit.
Don't forget to check your jackfruit.
And it's okay to taste your jackfruit to see if you need to add, if the taste is good for you. If you want to add a little bit more seasoning, if you feel like, okay, I want to add a dash more of not ground, but smoked paprika. It is okay. You know, the whole thing about this is making a recipe your own. You know. Okay. Now my bun, perfect. We are going to take our buns off. And I'm making 3. Even though I'm going to have a whole bunch of left over, that's going to be for my coworkers here at the BBQ Sauce.
Nice.
Because they are my critics. Okay.
So if our buns are done, should we just set them aside?
Yes. So what I've actually started doing was I have a plate ready. And I will show you
Please share.
because I'm going to start plating.
Cool.
So far at this point, we have turned our heat, reduced our heat on our own jackfruit.
What was that? Reduce the heat?
Yeah.
Okay. Lower the heat on your jackfruit so it doesn't burn. Take it off the burner?
Yeah.
Probably take your jackfruit off.
Okay. Has everyone tasted their jackfruit?
If not, go ahead and taste.
Mmm.
Worth dancing?
Okay.
Caitlin's is worth dancing.
Huh? Caitlin, are you dancing?
Oh yeah. There she goes.
Stuck together, baby. Now I'm having a ball. Okay. So now I am going to first. So how's everybody's fun? Because I'm ready to play that. How's everyone feeling?
Is everybody's buns ready? I think we're good.
Okay. So So I'm gonna first start adding my jackfruit to my bun, and I'm spreading them out.
Put a little jackfruit on your bun.
And you don't have to load up the sliders because you're also adding pickled vegetables on it. It's gonna be a really good, like when you take a bite, you're gonna get a taste of everything again.
Awesome.
All right. Okay. Okay, now, when I start plating my carrots, my cabbage, my pickles, I'm gonna start moving everything around so that way I'm able to get at least cabbage, carrot, jalapeno in each one.
Mix those veggies up. I love cabbage on barbecue.
I'm sorry, I cannot stop smiling.
Well, let us see what you're smiling about.
Okay. So,
All right, Jamar's coming to the screen here.
now remember, we are eating with our eyes, right?
Ooh,
So
nice.
let's see if I can bring them down.
Looks good. Oh, Jamie's sharing too. Nice.
Jamie, yours was awesome.
He always does so good.
Remember, before you take a bite, make sure you take a photo, okay?
Yes, send them to Jamar and I so we can share with the community. Your awesome work.
Okay.
How is it, Jamie? Nice.
How is it, Jamie?
Thumbs up. Hot. Temp or spice?
Oh. Okay. And just imagine if you were, because you can make sliders whichever size. Look at that.
Yum. Very nice. How's everybody else doing? Looks good, Caitlin. Yum. Sue said you need to save me one. Yes, Susan, I'm hungry here too. Those of us that aren't cooking along are getting really hungry.
How's everyone doing?
You taste it, Francis? Taste that slider.
Yes.
There you go. How is it? Caitlin's enjoying hers.
Francis likes hers.
Nice. Should we have everybody on mute now, Jamar?
Of course.
Everybody can go ahead and unmute and talk to us about your sliders.
I was just following along, but yours are beautiful, Jamar.
Huh?
Somebody said it was beautiful. I'm not sure who.
Did you cook along?
See you, Shar. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Shar. Remember, presentation is everything. You want your family.
Just wanted to say thank you, Jamar. You know how loud my house gets. I'm gonna let you go now. Love you.
Thank you for joining.
I think that was Katrina.
Yeah.
Okay, next time I'm gonna come and I'm gonna cook at the same time. That looked like a lot of fun.
Please do. We're doing stir fry next month.
Oh, yay.
All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much, Jamal.
Hey,
Yes,
thank
thanks,
you.
y'all. And I'll try to get all the ingredients for next month posted by like early next week, if not tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Jamar,
Thank you.
Jen said, totally awesome. We will cook along next month too. Thank you all. Exclamations.
Hey, it was a success. I'm glad that now no one is afraid of jackfruit anymore.
No, I'm looking forward to trying it. What'd you say, Starla?
I just saying thank you very much. This was fun, and I will see you next month.
Excellent.
And I hopefully feel better, and I will cook with you.
Excellent.
Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
hope you feel better soon, Starla.
Yeah, thank you.
Kind of surprised it has an almost artichoke taste to it.
What was that, Robert?
It has almost like an artichoke texture and
Oh.
slight taste to it. At least what we got.
Does that sound right, Jamar?
It has
Robert
a
was saying
slight-
it kind of has like an artichoke taste and texture.
Mmm.
Is that normal?
So sometimes it just depends, but say for instance, that may just mean that you need to cook it a little bit longer. Because is it pulling apart?
Oh yeah, it came apart, no problem.
Okay. So maybe cook it down a little bit more.
Okay.
How did the pickled vegetables come out?
Oh, they turned out great. It's about
Hold on, let me come see.
There you go. Ooh, that looks nice.
kind of a mess, but
Hey,
No, it looks good.
Take a photo of that.
Yeah, send us a photo of that, Robert, please.
That looks really, really awesome.
all right.
Hey, good
Yeah.
job, good job.
Well, it at least tasted good.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you.